Hello, Sam. How are you, sir?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you perfectly fine. Yeah.
Fine. Wonderful. Sorry, if the picture quality is bad, I don't really use my laptop webcam.
Long as it's working, that's all we care about. Like I said, the
Sorry,
amount of issues we.
No, I get that. Don't worry. How are you two? I'm assuming you're a bit tired by now.
Yeah, I'm okay actually. I thought I'd be flagging more. I'm a bit hungry, but I don't really want to get anything to eat because as soon as I start eating, that will probably send us to sleep.
Yeah.
I'm not having anything big until we're finished. Like I have got food on the way, but
snacks
I have literally been picking all day, and I am on a proper sugar. Like I think I'm on a sugar downer now. Like I've gone right up and then down again, but I will have my second win shortly.
So just before we start as well, just an update. We have raised £470.
Wow,
that is absolutely amazing. I never thought we'd even reach anywhere like that. And thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in and donated, and everyone who's been involved with this as well. It's not just been us that's been doing this. There's a lot of work going behind the scenes, and we will thank them ladies as well. So yes, coming to you, sir, because I see you've been in the Facebook group for quite a while now, haven't you?
I've been in here since about 600 members, maybe less than that.
Oh wow!
I think I found the podcast a long time ago.
Yeah, because you found us was it through Instagram or was it directly through the podcast?
It was through Instagram. It was through Instagram. I can't remember if it was one of the suggested follows or not.
Oh, that's great.
And I thought, well, I don't really have many nerdy friends, and my family aren't nerdy, so I thought, why not? I'm not from the north. Don't live there, so
I was going to say the accent. I was going to say the accent doesn't come across as northern.
Yeah, not at all.
Where are you from?
I'm from Leicester.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so
it's Leicester's north of somewhere, though. So
well,
exactly. That's what I say. Yeah.
Exactly. You're an honorary northeast person.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's not how I wanted to say that. I was going to say northerner. Sorry.
So I get called by northerner by my southern friends all the time anyway, so it's not much of a myself.
So with our new guest as well, because this is you making your podcast debut as well. I know you've asked me on it a few times. That's why I thought I'd see if you wanted to be involved with today. Let us know about a little bit your nerdy credentials there, Sam.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Sam, obviously. Bit younger than I think a lot of people in here. I'm 26. So I'm a bit of a baby compared to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what we're with.
Yeah. I don't know. When did it start? I remember I found a copy of the Lord of the Rings DVD. It was the Fellowship of the Ring.
He can stay.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, no, I think it was a copy of the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring DVD, and I just fell in love with it. I remember I went to see Two Towers at the cinema when I was, I think I was like 8, and that gave me nightmares.
Amazing.
Like proper nightmares as well. Like I was hiding in the bathtub kind of nightmares.
They were seeing the orcs coming after you as well.
No, it was the Fell Beasts. With the Nazgul, yeah. It didn't scare me at the time, but for some reason did afterwards. And then I remember because VHSs was still pretty much a decent sized thing at the time. I saved up as much money as I can to spend £12 on Return of the King. And I think from there it just kind of spiraled, really.
Yeah.
Like none of my family are nerdy, like at all, in the slightest. All my friends, it's kind of all just been me doing it on my own, really.
Oh, bless!
Like all of my influences are just. See, like with influences, I think that sometimes it can be a case of, I'll like that because someone else likes it.
Yeah.
Whereas with me, it's just a case of that I've just fallen in love with whatever I've seen, and it's just been solely off my own back, sort of thing.
No, that's always a good sign as well, because as me and Sam's talked about, we grew up in Sunderland. I grew up in a little mining village called Ryop, which hasn't really got many nerdy influences. Like what we used to do is go to the pub, play football. But I was always interested in a little bit like comics and like nerd culture. Well, to me as well, because a lot of people put you in like a box, and I don't like that aspect. I think nerdism or the nerd culture branches out to all different aspects, and that's why I try to that's why one of the big parts of the group, I didn't want to just be solely on films, solely on TV shows. I wanted all the different aspects of nerdism to kind of be appreciated, because nobody feels like they're left out as well.
Exactly, yeah, because I think it's a kind of a case of as well is that you can literally be nerdy about anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
because you just take it to the more extreme of, oh, I like this, and then it's a kind of when you're nerdy, it's kind of, I like this very much.
It's
Like, like
100% agree.
And like that's how I am with Lord of the Rings. Like I wanted to come on and talk about Lord of the Rings, but you did a podcast quite recently about it. You did a podcast quite recently about it, and I thought
Honestly,
an hour was too short.
It's too long for Paul. What were you coming to talk about?
Well, to be fair, another quite sort of not necessarily similar thing, but it gets compared quite a lot. It's Game of Thrones.
Sounds waking up now.
So exactly, yeah. So I love the series anyway. Obviously, it's got its downsides and that, but with Fire and Blood coming out soon, House of the Dragon coming out soon.
Excited.
And recently rewatching the entire thing, I thought, why not? I've got a couple of signed pops from a couple of the cast members, so I thought,
cool.
Might as well go for it.
If you want to see a fully grown woman lose her shit, we will get into it.
That's fine by me, because I did kind of want to go down the route of asking you about sort of like favorite houses, and just because I'm big on facts. I love facts about everything. I always have a plethora of random crap rocking about in my head.
Where's this guy been before, Paul?
But
to be honest, on the group, he's normally talking about Doctor Who. So I thought.
You'll lose us there, mind. You'll lose us Doctor Who.
I love Doctor Who. My most expensive pops are Doctor Who. It's another love of mine. It's in my big three sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I thought, just a case of. I mean, I do have a quiz to do at the end. Like, someone did one with cats earlier. I really enjoyed that. By the way, I can't remember the name because I'm shit with names.
Sam's sister Michaela, yeah.
Michaela, that was it, yeah.
My sister, she surprised me with that one.
I was really good. I mean, it really came out of nowhere. A lot of different things as well, but I thought I'd do this way, just solely head to head from the two leaders of the podcast.
Boom! Because she's yeah.
Well, this is the thing.
Because she runs her own Game of Thrones group.
Well, this is the thing. There is a tiebreaker, but also the little prize at the end that whoever wins. I love pops. I can see Paul, you love pops as well.
Yeah.
When it gets to choose a Game of Thrones pop, why not? And I'll buy it and send it to you. No.
I'll tell you what. If you do that, I'll send you a T-shirt. Deal?
Oh no, I'm 100% doing it. I've got my it's all written down.
Oh my god! Wow. Okay, I'm in. Let's go. I'm excited.
I'll leave the quiz right to the very end. Though, leave it on a bit of a competitive point. I'm quite a competitive person myself, so I thought instead of just doing it the whole everyone's a winner, I thought I got to pit people against each other.
I didn't think I was. I didn't think I was competitive until probably until I started doing this podcast.
And to be fair, my top fives normally win just in my head. That's just me saying though. So
that's the thing. I hate watching some of the podcasts sometimes because it's a case of we just go really, like really,
yeah.
But then you. But with Game of Thrones, I think it's just because it's so varied, and again with House of the Dragon coming out, I'm really, really hoping that they do move on to things like House of the Stag. That sort of thing, because it'd be really interesting to know that, because there's not much history behind a lot of those houses. Like with the House of Baratheon, doesn't go back that far at all, because it was a mixture of Targaryen and
two houses,
an old house,
into one.
And the new person that came through with the Baratheon stole their words, stole their sigil, that sort of thing.
The Baratheons like to steal, don't they?
Oh, they do. And it's really coincidental that Robert hated Targaryens so much when he had a lot of Targaryen blood in himself.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, there's quick plug as well. Nothing I do. Something I like watching on YouTube. There's a channel called Fire and Blood.
I watch it.
Oh, you watch it? Do you? You know exactly what I'm talking about. I've spent hours watching that. It's so brilliant. For anyone that doesn't know, it's basically just a case of the history of houses and the history going from just before Game of Thrones started and like way before that.
Like the way of the first men and it's so interesting.
Oh, it really is. And the fact that they've got the actors do the voiceover as well makes it even better.
Yeah.
I watched the one on the Clegane household earlier.
Oh, that's cool. When did you get into Game of Thrones? Like, are you a book reader or are you TV side?
So I'm always TV and movie. I can't read books. I think the last full book that I read was when I was 15. I pick up a book, I'll read 30, 40, 50 pages, I go, right, love it, put it down on my bedside table, and I won't touch it. I've got the Da Vinci Code sat on my bedside table at the minute. I'm not even touched that for 6 months. Still there. It gets dusted every time I dust it, it gets dusted. But I was really late getting into it though, because like obviously when it first came along, everyone was going ape shit about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's I prefer to, once things have come out fully, that's when I get into it. But I thought it was like 4 seasons in, and I was like, that's a lot of for me to try and get into, and I know that it's because I already knew that it was like a very in-depth sort of thing. I knew about the books anyway. But then I had a bank holiday weekend off, and I think I had a free pass to, I can't remember what it was now, some TV app, and all 4 seasons are on there. I was like, right, okay, 4 seasons in the weekend, easy peasy. Went back to work on Monday, very tired, but all 4 seasons.
I was going to say you'll be pretty, but just eyes like just zoned out.
40 hours of TV in 3 days was bad, but
I did something very similar. We moved into our first flat in 2012. Didn't have a telly, didn't have like Sky or anything set up when we were waiting for it. And my friend had said, "Here's Game of Thrones. You need to watch it. Sean Bean's in it. It's amazing." So I watched it on DVD, and the second series was just starting. Effing loved it. Thought it was great. Started watching the second series on telly, and I totally dropped off. Even though the second series right now and the second book is favorite. Only because I finished the second book recently, but I really enjoyed it. And he drops off. Husband keeps on watching it, and I had to coach him through the Red Wedding, even though I hadn't a clue what was going on. He came into the bedroom after the Red Wedding and was like, "I can't believe what I've just watched."
It was
traumatized
proper.
And then I started getting into a girl on YouTube called Comic Book Girl 19, and she did a history of the Game of Thrones, and she did the history of the houses. And I watched the Lannister. I think it was a Targaryen one, and I was like, it's interesting. And then I decided to go and watch them all over again. And I started from the first season, and I think season 4 was just about to start. And that's when I got it. It was about 2013.
Yeah, I think the first season really comes out of nowhere. It's just so different to what you see on TV normally anyway. Like the amount of gore in it, the amount of sex scenes, everything like that was just so different to everything else that was, well, I think quite popular, because obviously you've got a lot of gory things and a lot of sexual things anyway.
No, but to that level, I think Game of Thrones
on telly as well.
Yeah, because you saw it in movies
TV
and stuff like that, but this was on, I think it was on Sky Atlantic when it first came out.
First.
Because sorry to cut in there, just because going back to your first experiences, I saw it advertised and thought, oh, Sean Bean, going to be quite interesting. Yeah. But normally when I watch a TV show like that, I'll get the wife involved, because like say we love watching anything new together. Yeah. And it's just not as fun when I watch it by myself. So when I tried to sell it to her, she wasn't really too keen. So I watched halfway through the first season. I had to stop and say, look, you will really like this, because she's big into fantasy, and she's a gore hound. She loves anything violent and bloody and messy. So basically, I started again, because like say with us having it on demand now, you could watch it back. But back in the day, when if you couldn't, it would have been a nightmare. But we started again, and I kind of loved it through her, because she got really into it and entertained by it, and that kind of grew my love for a lot of things. I kind of didn't delve too much into the backstories with it. I haven't read the books, I'll be honest, but I just thought it was like great entertainment. Like we hadn't seen anything like this on TV, and we still haven't. I know HBO Max and stuff are bringing out more along them lines, but other than, I would say, The Sopranos, was I gripped by a TV show like Lord of the Rings? Not Lord of the Rings, sorry, Game of Thrones. Sorry.
You've got it on the mind, my friend.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my starting point in the Game of Thrones. But as you said, the graphic nature and everything, even something as a throwaway part when the prostitute, I can't remember her name now, is traveling down, and she flashes a bit. Just say that you'll not miss that anymore. And it was like, I wouldn't dare see that on normal TV. That was just crazy. I just couldn't comprehend what I just seen.
The actors was so. I think there's not really an actor that I hate. I think in the show, everything was so perfectly done, even from down to the people like David Bradley as Walder Frey. I've got a signed photo 10x8 of it because I think his portrayal as Walder Frey was just so vile. But he does it so perfectly. Even and then going back to someone like Charles Dance playing Tywin Lannister. Yeah. If you look into the history of Game of Thrones as well, his dad was actually quite a bit of a he was just a limp fish, really.
He was a fool, and
he was
Tywin doesn't suffer fools.
And Charles Dance plays it to a T.
His dad almost lost their house, and this is why Tywin is the way he is because he does not suffer fools. He will not be a fool. His house will not be foolish, and his dad almost cost him all of that. Joffrey, the guy, Jack Gleeson, who plays Joffrey, is one of the most hated characters
100%
in television history, and that kid did him
because
he did us proud.
So good. And what I love as well between the vile nature of someone like Joffrey compared to the vile nature of someone like Ramsay, was that Joffrey was very arrogant with it, whereas Ramsay was just full on violent. You can see it. You can see it in I can never remember his name. He plays Ramsay.
He was the guy out of Misfits, wasn't he?
He's been in a few things. It's like Owen. It's Owen something, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think. But you can see it in his eyes because his eyes are always wide open, and you can see just that malice. Like when he sets the dogs on. I can't remember her name, but his lover, wife, whatever it is.
It's like that. Walder or something like that. It's because she's Walder Frey's.
His mother-in-law. Yeah. Yeah. When he does that as well, he just has no care in the world. He's just he enjoys it, and the way that he played with Rickon. I mean, Rickon was by far the worst. As far as characters go in the whole show, was the worst character in the entire show because he was just so pointless.
Stupid as death and Game of Thrones.
Oh, exactly.
I'm gonna get chased by a bow and an arrow. So what am I gonna do? I want to run straight forward.
Yeah, straight forward.
I want to run straight forward.
Yeah.
It's like Prometheus all over again. Just step to the side or move around.
Yeah.
There's a guy, it could have been completely avoided. Honestly, when it was happening, me and him were shouting, zigzag.
It was tense.
Zigzag.
It was exactly what I mean. It was so tense when you were watching it, but you were still thinking, "You a tit? Like, what are you doing? You've just died for no reason. I mean, you were not in the show for no reason, pretty much for most of it anyway, because you randomly appeared again.
There's a reason why people think Starks are stupid, and you've just gone and proven it.
Yeah. But going on Stark, something that I did want to mention is I wanted to get thoughts and opinions on the whole Bran Stark thing and the three-eyed raven thing, because as the person that played him, Isaac Hempston, something or other, he's a very, if he was the three-eyed raven, where you are such basically taken out of reality, where you are now everywhere, he does it very, very well because he is quite, not necessarily cold because he still cares for his siblings, but he's very just distant and uncaring, just kind of sits there.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think he's useless again because the whole Bran the Broken sort of thing, could he have gone, Jon Snow, go back to Winterfell, it's yours.
Yeah.
You're actually a Targaryen, go with, no, fuck off to the wall. Be cold as shit.
That's where you belong.
There's no White Walkers anymore. Go protect the North, idiot.
Yeah.
But also the whole three-eyed raven storyline, because in the final battle of Winterfell, he disappears, but where does he go to? And it's like it's never really fully explained because he could have done so much more things. Like there's an interesting theory that I really like that he's actually Bran the Builder, who was the first Stark.
Yeah.
They say that the theory says that Bran Stark is Bran the Builder. He goes back in time and says, whispers in his ear, build the wall. And also for the Mad King. That's why the Mad King dies saying, burn them all. And he repeats it over and over again like Hodor.
Right.
He just says burn them all, but he's actually trying to prepare for what's to come with the White Walkers.
I've heard the Bran the Builder theory. I have a lot of forgiveness for Bran in the show because you had two people who had no idea what the fuck they were doing. They had no idea where Bran was going. They didn't understand it. They didn't have the source material. They weren't willing to wait for George's input on it. And I have a lot of forgiveness for Bran, the character in that show, because it was such a wasted opportunity. The Night King and Bran, the connection that they had, what was it? Who are they? Where is this man cut? Like, why is he so hell-bent on Bran? Like, what? Like, there's something there. Oh, hang on. You're gonna find out.
You know why he wants Bran? Because he wants the ability to be the three-eyed raven, so he can go back in time and do whatever he wants. That's the reason for that. But it could have been, even if there's no source material, there was no real source material for the last, what was it, 2 seasons anyway? It was very loosely based on the books. They could have done more with it, because it was kind of like, he's a three-eyed raven. Oh, hello, family. I'm the three-eyed raven now. What does that mean?
Well, I can see everything.
Yeah. Oh, you look pretty on your wedding night. Right.
Yeah, there was lots of aspects that were kind of just like missed out, or like missed opportunities. I think we've mentioned before when we did the podcast about our favorite TV shows, Sam lost her shit with the Game of Thrones thing. There was so much potential to lead into, like I say, the last couple of seasons, which could have like told a lot more stories or give you a lot of input. But 100%, even the writers are missed. I think the writers even stopped writing about the characters and went, "You know your characters better than us do. You do it. You do it.
Do you know why? Because they're not writers. They are not real writers. They if you go and have a look at the work that they've done outside of Game of Thrones, it is abysmal. It is absolutely atrocious. They are horrendous people who had managed to do a show based on the first book, the second book, and the third book, and do it perfectly to where everyone was absolutely buzzing about it. This is the greatest TV show we have ever seen. And the money was coming in, the offers were coming in, and then they got the big one. They got Star Wars. And that was it. They were like, right, get this shit over with, and that we're going to move on to bigger and better. And then the last series come out, and Star Wars went, don't like that. Don't like that at all. You're not getting the job anymore, and fuck them off. HBO, on the other hand, is still saying, we'll give you time. We will give you money. We will give you the series that you want to finish this off. And they were not interested. They then got landed with a Netflix deal that, again, got taken away from them. Because guess what? The shit. Can't stand them. They are how to ruin a franchise.
I think it was still. I still think that even when you look, because when I first watched it, I think I was like everybody else. I was like, "What in the fuck is this? Is that it? Is this what's happening now?" Yeah. And then in rewatching it, like I have done, and it's been so recent, I've got a bit of an appreciation for it. I suppose not with how they did it, but I get more behind it. Like the Battle of Winterfell, I got goosebumps watching that all over again, because when the Dothraki ride with all their flaming swords and sickles straight into the dead, and it all goes out, and you'll just sit there and think. I literally sat there again thinking, "Oh shit, that's yeah. Oh god, that's the Dothraki horde that have just been obliterated."
I was going to ask you about that, because like I say, I've not had the balls to rewatch it again after the first one, because I think. But has it been like a great appreciation that you know what's going to happen?
1,000%. The first time round watching it, because I watched it 4 seasons in a big bulk, then I watched it week by week as everybody else did, and then watching it whenever I could, whenever I wanted to. I mean, I binge watch everything. I can sit there literally from morning till night binge watching. Doesn't bother me. But from rewatching it again, I never got bored of it. I never got tired of it. I paid more attention to more meaningless characters, a bit like with Walder Frey. The first time around, I just went, "Ugh, creep." But this time around, I went, "God, that's actually an evil, terrifying man who just does not care at all." And then going back to it, even though you know what's going to happen, rewatching the last season, you can understand why Daenerys started becoming the Mad Queen. You understand it. You kind of watch it again, and you see the pain in her eyes when Missandei gets a. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Spoiler warning, by the way.
To be fair, if you haven't watched Game of Thrones now, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. When you see Missandei's head get, I mean, Missandei is actually a big reason behind it, because before Missandei gets her head snipped, she says, "Burn them." That's what she says. She says it to Daenerys, and you see loses it. She goes back to Storm's End. She's, you see her hair's all matted and horrible, and it's just everywhere. And you can see she's losing the plot. I mean, it's probably down to a lot of Targaryen inbreeding at some point. But if you just go if you just go basically down to how it looks, you see it, and you see the turmoil in Jon Snow from seeing such a proud queen who wanted to help people and release people and didn't want to rule with hate and malice. She had to get the job done, but you could see it slowly turning, like when she burnt alive Sam's dad and brother.
Yeah.
You saw how everyone reacted. You saw how Tyrion reacted to it, and you just see him going, "Shit, she's actually losing it." Because I mean, you understand why she does it, because she has to. And you kind of get that, because she has to. A powerful lord like Tarly, if he says no and you let him live, he's going to go rally with someone else and find another army and come back again.
Well, that's what they do, isn't it? That's the how
exactly.
The Tyrells, when they were with oh my god, they were with Renly to start with. And the minute Renly's gone, they swept over. Then you've got Olenna, then
House Slag, I like to call them. They're just
they really are. The Tyrells don't know.
It's all about who's the winning side. I just think it's on rewatching it, you notice a lot more intricate details, which is
it's
something I love.
It is very interesting the way that you just described the last series with Daenerys, because it was one of my. I love how George R. R. Martin writes women.
Yeah.
And Daenerys was always the biggest one for me, because she's going from this docile little dove of a girl to becoming a queen with her Carl, and then losing it all, but still not losing the foresight. Exactly, she still fought, and she did it. She did it a lot with her head as opposed to a strength. Yeah. The whole scene where she speaks Valyrian for the first time to the slave owner, that was absolutely genius. The way that and then to have her, we sat and we watched her preparing to conquer, to then eventually finally getting off her hands and our arse and moving over to the set, moving over to King's Landing, and it took a long time, and it was tedious, but we understood there was a reason for it. She needed to learn how to rule, but then when she gets there, to fucking lose it.
I think there's a lot of reason for it, because I think because of that long build up and how long she's been waiting for it and yearning for it and things like that, and then it's not gone exactly how she wanted it, and she's like, shit, okay, I need to do a few things, because her advisors, you've got Tyrion, you've got Varys there, they're always chatting in her ear, they're always chatting to each other as well.
Yeah.
Jorah's not there for a portion of it because he has to come back, and then it's the sense of they're talking, they're advising me. I don't know what's right anymore because I don't want to kill people, but they're telling me I have to kill people, so I'm going to do it. And now it's like, oh, I've killed maybe a bit too many people, and it's you just see her completely lose it. The same as Grey Worm. Grey Worm was always loyal, and it's dangerous, and he fell in love with Missandei. Everything was great. Misandei's head gets gone. He loses the plot.
I could always understand. I see that thing. I could understand Grey Worm's turn more than Daenerys in my eyes.
Yeah.
Grey Worm's always made common sense that he would act that way, and he would use as an excuse, even though he was ultimate soldier. That was the first person he'd fallen in love with, or that treat him like a human, not just a soldier.
You see his real change though when the Lannister soldiers put all their weapons down, and he's like, bollocks to this.
I don't care.
I don't care anymore. And then obviously
that means nothing to me. It might mean something to Jon, but that means nothing to me. And you see that switch in his eye, like it's scary.
I love that. I love that because it's like, this is a man who's lost his everything. He's fighting for a queen who's losing the plot as well. He's here to basically, because of what happened at Casterly Rock as well. He's there for just revenge. The whole thing of sacking King's Landing, the two times that it happened, because just before the show, it was about revenge as well with Robert Baratheon. Because he came into the city, he was like, right, everyone dead, mine now. And then for this one, they've come in, and it's the case of it was never going to be that way. Even if Cersei went, I don't care, let them all die, it wouldn't have mattered, The only bit that from rewatching it and still hating so bad, there's two things. Clegane Bowl, that was building up for so damn long, and it happened in the stairs, and you're like, right, okay,
with Cersei teetering tottering around them, like, I'll just get past here, thanks.
Yeah, he's thrown the hound 40 miles away and then punches him in the face, and nothing basically happens. It's like it's very hit and miss. And then what it should have happened a lot. Well, I think a lot differently. It was still great to watch because it was Clegane.
Yeah, it was Clegane Bowl. Yeah, we would be waiting it.
I still think it should have been more. And then the final thing, which I still hate to this day, even after rewatching everything, Cersei and Jaime's death.
No.
What the writers literally at the end must have gone, I don't care anymore. This is how you do two die. Oh, 4-year-old child. How do they die? Oh, a building falls on them. Sure thing. Put that in it.
Well, you don't even see it as well, though. That was
It was kind of like, we didn't even see Cersei in pain. We, as audience members, deserved more.
We did see Cersei in pain at some point throughout it, but it
wasn't enough. It was not enough. But we as audience members deserve more. Her as a character deserved better.
Yeah.
She deserved a better death than what she got. And also, did they just forget the prophecy? You know, they were playing it out with all of our kids dying. Her kids will wear crowns. They will all die. The Valyar, whatever it was, will come, and your younger brother basically will be the one who kills you. Did they forget about that?
I think that was the point of the prophecy, though. I think it was the case of, no one's coming to fucking save you. That's how bad of a person you are. You're going to watch your 3 children die in really bad ways.
I wanted Jaime to kill her.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
how it should have gone.
I have a problem with that because Jaime's redemption arc throughout the whole show, which is so good. I love Nikolai. Is it Nikolai something?
Nikolai
Danish.
Costa.
That's a
Costa-Walder.
Danish actor, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic as Jaime Lannister. From his arrogant, I'm the Golden Lion.
Yeah.
I'm the King's Guard. Everything like that. To how he acts with Brienne, how he saves Brienne.
You fall in love with. I know it sounds weird, but you fall in love with Jaime throughout this show as well.
When he shows up at Winterfell. He shows up at Winterfell. Without anybody, and he's just like, I'm fighting for people now.
No, it was the turning point is season 3 when he does the scene where in the bathtub, which is actually in the second book. He says it to Catelyn Stark. The whole scene where he talks about how the Mad King, was ready to burn them all, and that whole scene played out with Brienne, and then when he collapses and she says Kingslayer, and he goes, "My name's Jaime."
Yeah.
If that actually plays out in the second book with Catelyn Stark in a dungeon, and it is on par the level that you get, like that pit of your stomach feeling that I got when I first watched it, because that was when Jaime went from being a bastard to being like, he is my favorite character.
Star of redemption.
I think Sam hit on a perfect point when he was talking about Grey Worm and stuff. There's certain characters that got just
one?
Like the turn of Grey Worm when, like you say,
which Sam?
Sam, sorry. I'll call you Sammy, don't worry.
Man Sam.
Sam.
Preferred Sam, I think.
But when the turn of Grey Worm, because like certain characters were given great and like arcs in the final season. Like his was absolutely well done. Theon again, absolutely amazingly.
He knows he's going to die, and he still goes, I'm sorry, and just against the Night King with a fucking wooden spit with basically a stick. It's like
how to take a character that I don't give 2 shits about and make me give shits about. It really, like, I honestly, it got to the point in the second book I was almost skipping chapters. Because I really didn't care about his point of view, and it's only becoming recently that it's getting more interesting because he's taken Winterfell. The Bran and Rickon have managed to escape him, but he has now captured Reek.
Yeah,
he has captured Reek, and Reek has said, if you don't get these boys back, you've lost Winterfell. You've lost your men. You need to get these boys back. And then Reek comes up with the idea of getting the 2 butcher boys. So
that's how it differs in the book.
Yes.
Okay.
it's Reek who actually organizes that to say, look at this is Brandon and Rickon Stark, he's good. I am convinced because in the books, Ramsay Bolton is dead. Ramsay Bolton got shot in the face with an arrow on his wedding day, and he is dead. I can't read the books now. I am utterly convinced. I am utterly convinced that the Reek that Theon has captured is Ramsay Bolton.
Ooh.
And because he's too clever. They said this guy is dumb as shit. He's absolutely, but he's not. He is so clever. And I'm convinced that is Ramsay Bolton. I'm so glad I got to talk to someone. Nobody cares when I talk about this at home, you know.
This is how I feel. That's why I joined the whole community in the first place. I go downstairs, talk to my mum about something. She's like, yeah. I go, oh my God, they're releasing the Lord of the Rings TV show. I've never been so happy in my entire life. She's like,
Oh, see, that's where it differs, because my mum and dad are fans of Game of Thrones. Like, I got them into it, so I can have these. Not my dad, because if you ask me dad what happened in Game of Thrones, he honestly couldn't tell you. He really couldn't tell you.
But as I said, with other characters as well, they were completely different. I liked the lead up with Arya's turn, like how she took down the Night King. That was done well, but then turned into a side character in the taking of King's Landing, where she was just like a spectator. That
she was a scared little girl running around.
Yeah.
But again, watching that back for the second time, though, you do kind of think of, shit, this is Arya Stark. She's become a faceless man. She's done all this. She's killed the Night King. What's she scared of? It's because she's running through the streets and realizing that people are dying through dragon fire. And you just see,
and
you see that
you
in her
can't
face.
Stop that. Yeah,
and you can't. How do you deal with a dragon flying above you, raining down fire? They've already tried to kill that dragon like 40 times by now.
Yeah,
they've got the two smaller ones, the bigger one. How do you do that?
I tell you what, I did get goosebumps when she met Melisandre for the last time, and she grabs a hold of her face and says, "You'll close green eyes, brown eyes," and then she pauses and says blue eyes, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I remember you saying that,
and that's why, and that's the whole thing of having that dragon glass thing made. But looking back on Game of Thrones, the kind of the whole sort of story point that I got from, especially the TV shows, because I've never even read one page of one of the Game of Thrones books, is the sense of every single character you see in the show, they do what they do out of necessity, barring just a small couple. Like at the very start, you see Ned Stark say, "I have to do this. I have to kill this man. He's deserted the Night's Watch. That's the law." Every single, like Samwell Tarly, doesn't want to do a lot of things because he breaks. For someone who is such a goody two shoes at the start,
he broke a shit ton of laws.
He broke all the rules, but it was out of necessity. He went into where he shouldn't have done in the Citadel, got the books on grayscale, cured Jorah Mormont. Yeah. He does so much things that he shouldn't be doing, but he shouldn't have. But should he have really told Jon Snow who he really was? Yeah, maybe not. But he does it out of necessity because he thinks that's the right thing to do. Jon Snow does everything out of necessity, never out of. There's never a lot of things that people do in the show, barring Joffrey and Ramsay. Yeah. Again, Ramsay in a couple of situations, like killing his stepmother's babe and the baby, to
secure his legacy.
Yeah. Those are one of the only two characters in the entire show that don't do things out of entire necessity.
Yeah. I think
it's a good point. I never looked at it that way. So I probably will revisit Game of Thrones. It probably is a little bit too soon and too raw for me, but we'll give it a go again.
I'm not gonna lie. Go on.
I probably will watch it again before the new one starts as well, just to refresh myself. But
to be honest, you won't need to, because we're going way back to is it Aegon or
it's set 200 years. It's set 200 years before Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So you will see a lot more dragons. I think it's something like, if you're having Daenerys at a standpoint, it'll be Daenerys is like 3 or 4, 5 times great grandparents or something like that.
So it's going to be the age. What's going to end? It's going to be the age where dragons ended.
Basically, because when Balerion the Dread has been dead for God knows how long, but it's when the dragons were still the size of like Drogon, Rhaegar, and Viserys, but it's before they start coming the size of cats, just out of pure rubbish dragons, basically. I mean,
well, it was when magic started to dwindle. The dragons appear because magic starts to heighten up. Yeah, and the wall was because the wall is full of magic. That's what they say that well, not what they say, it is true. Bratton the Builder with the Children of the Forest, when he built it up, it's all inwoven with magic powers. I will give it another rewatch. I'm not gonna lie, I was heavily disappointed with the pace, with the story, with the outcome of the last series. But that's just the investment that I have, not just with the show, but the series, the community. Like, I have such an investment in this that I wanted it done right. Like, we deserve that. Like, we've been through a lot.
The only thing where it could have been done right, though, was 20 episodes that were like 3 hours long, because it was just something that
I wouldn't have complained about that.
And no one would have complained about it. I think it was more the case of, as you said there, Sam, it's the case of you've got the community behind you. You've invested so much time and effort into it. You want something massive.
Yeah.
And if you look back with rewatching it, it still was massive. I mean, Daenerys went from being someone who freed slaves, the breaker of chains, to burning a city. That's massive in the grand scale of it. It was just the execution that just lacked a bit.
Yeah, I think it was more a little bit down to, like, as well, like, not that they didn't care as well. I know Sam probably disagree, but probably fear of how to end it, because whatever ending they got, there wasn't many good, like, say, there wasn't going to be a good outcomes. Again, I thought it could have been done longer, it could have been done short.
It could have been just explained, like, just give us the explanations that we were looking for. You hyped up the Night King so badly, yet you give us absolutely nothing, which meant that when he died,
it didn't really mean much.
Meant nothing. When D&D got the rights to Game of Thrones, the agreement with George R.R. Martin is that you start it this way, but you end it this way. Bran was always going to be the guy who got the Iron Throne. It was always going to be Bran. I'm not too big of a fan of it, but in the books.
That's his. So that's his.
We're a completely different brand and Stark from what you have in the TV series. So that was what he said, because that's where his books were ending. And obviously they said that you need to tell me who Jon Snow's mother is.
Yeah.
And that's how they got the
I absolutely, it brings me on to my point of my favorite character in the show as well, which I'm so sad you probably won't see again if they do more TV shows as well, because he's only at that point, it's about 20 years before Game of Thrones that happens. And that my favorite character is Sir Arthur Dayne. Sword of the Morning. He's Rhaegar Targaryen's best friend.
Yep.
But it's the case of go and protect the woman that I love while she gives birth to my son.
How much did the community lose their shit?
Oh, after the
when we saw Arthur Dayne, we were like, "There's the boy."
But it's just the fact of when I watch stuff, I always just kind of, my favorite sort of characters are the warriors and just the I don't say the badasses, but you just see the way that everyone stood there with a sword in the hand going, and he's there just
he's like, come on, bitch.
The motion that he flows like with his swords, and just realizing who he is, and everyone in the show before it says he is the greatest swordsman ever. I mean, I think there was a point in there that said something like, even though Barristan Selmy was considered the greatest, if Arthur Dayne had his sword, is it called the Morning, or is it called Dawn? No, the sword's called Dawn. If he had Dawn, nobody's beat. Not even Barristan Selmy comes close to beating him. If they both had normal swords, fair enough. But with Dawn, Arthur Dayne ruins everybody, which is something I love about it in a sense.
It makes him so badass. So you wanted to do a quiz with like getting on in time.
That's right. I'm glad to mention it. So 10 questions.
Right.
Oh,
it's just a case of just writing it down, and we'll just go over the answers at the end. Right, whoever wins gets the pot.
I'm not betting against Sam here.
if it's a tiebreak at the end of it, I've got a tiebreaker question.
Let's go.
Right, question number 1. In season 4, we meet the Red Viper of Dawn, Oberyn Martell. He's there to obviously avenge his sister, Elia Martell. What is the name of her 2 children?
Oh, you bastard.
I nearly said the C word there.
Oh, give us a minute.
What's funny as well, I did have to make that up on the spot because I said the answer to the original question that I had.
Really?
Yeah, the original question was just what was his sister's name?
Yeah. Right, I can't get that one. That's out of my head. Sorry.
Question number 2. How many episodes are there in total?
Oh my God. Can I use a calculator?
If you want to, I mean.
Thank you. Just so you know, I generally don't have any internet on my phone, so I can't look up anything. I have no connection in this room. Right, okay.
Yeah, I've got a number. I'm going with it.
Hang on.
For the answer, I'll give a margin of 5 as well. Just, to be kind. Saying about the length of the last seasons as well, based on the episode length, they're actually about the same length that all the previous seasons were anyway. Because in the last season, we get like hour-and-a-half shows.
Yeah, I remember that. Like, because they didn't actually fit a pattern. I think they just didn't want to cut the episodes short and stuff like that.
I think for the length of episodes that they had as well, it was actually pretty spot on with the story that they were trying to tell for each episode.
Mm.
Have we calculated yet, Sam?
Yeah, I've got that.
I think so.
Question number 3. What is the motto of House Greyjoy?
Oh, oh God, hang on. Oh shit. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. I've just been reading the second book. They're bloody in there the whole time. If we were in my other room, this wouldn't be a problem. I have their sigils around the bedroom.
Well, that'd be cheating, that would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Don't you say cheating. That's a nasty word.
Using advantages.
Yeah.
Cool.
Ready for number?
I'm going with a guess.
All right. Question number 4. Who was the true heir to the Iron Throne when Robert Baratheon died?
I don't know his name. I know what he did.
Hang on. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry.
Number 5. How are Jorah and Lyanna Mormont related?
Cool.
Number 6. Where is the seat of House Bolton, the place where Ramsay held Theon Greyjoy?
Dick.
Yeah.
We're good? We're moving on?
Thanks. Yeah.
Apparently, according to Martin, just on the charity podcast group, I look a little bit like Shia LaBeouf.
Sorry, you can insult Martin when he's on last as well. So
right, number 7. Which house sigil is a silver trout?
It's completely wrong.
Number 8. Jon Snow shares his name with who? And, it's a 2-parter, if he was crowned king, what number would Jon Snow have been?
Hang on a minute, say that again.
So Jon Snow shares his name with someone else.
Are you being trickery there?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
To put it bluntly, yeah.
Okay.
Because if I did that, then
stop asking questions to the quiz master.
Yeah. So Jon Snow shares his name with someone else. Who is it?
Yeah. And what number?
Because Targaryens only give a number on their name if they were crowned. So what number would Jon have been if he was crowned king?
Yeah, I'm on. All right, okay.
Okay.
Right, number 9. Maester Aemon or by his birth name, Aemon Targaryen, was what relation to Daenerys, Viserys, and Rhaegar?
Oh gosh, I read this in the book the other day. If that was there, right? Okay. Yep, got it. Good it.
How we doing, Paul?
Yeah.
All right. And number 10, again, it's another two-parter. How many kings did Tywin, my writing's awful, did Tywin Lannister serve as hand? And who were they?
Right, got it.
Exactly. I'm going to go with it. I could be wrong. I'm changing my answer here, but I'm going with it. Cool.
Right, well, that's all 10. So I suppose we should get to the answers.
Yeah.
Yep. So the first one, I didn't get an answer. So
the first one.
Rhaenyan, I can't pronounce it properly. Rhaenyan and Aegon? Or Egon?
Rhaenyra and Aegon. Or, yeah, Rhaenyra. Rhaenys.
Well, I did two double E's apparently. RHEEYONS. Because I can't spell with my dyslexic.
You know what? I'll accept that.
Thanks.
It's a matter of spelling. I mean, I can barely spell. 2. The answer is 73.
Oh, I put 55. You were closer.
Oh, there was 8. Oh, okay. Where did you get that from?
I missed a series and.
Yeah, I'd missed a series.
I missed a series.
I'd done 7 times
and
by
then and then I
added a few.
the first few were 9, weren't there? There was 9 episodes.
6 were
10 episodes.
First 6 were 10. Series 7 had 7 or 8, and then series 8 had 6, I think.
Oh my god, good.
Or maybe a couple of bit less. I can't remember exactly.
Oh, that was wrong. 64 I put.
No, I got it wrong.
No answer there. So still only got 1. What is the motto of House Greyjoy?
I put take what we want.
No, it's something about sow.
Yeah, what did you write down?
I didn't write anything down.
But
I know it's
we do not sow.
We do not sow. I knew it was something to do with sow. No, I wasn't going to take credit for that one.
Regularly say what is dead may never die, just basically off the god that they.
It always reminds us of you know, in Hot Fuzz when they go for their greater good, and someone will repeat their greater good.
Their greater good.
It always reminds me of Greyjoy's. What may live may never die, may never die.
Right. So
Number 4.
I put the blacksmith kid who was the kid from Skins.
Oh no,
Stannis the Manus.
It was Stannis Baratheon. Because Gendry was only a bastard, so he was illegitimate.
Gendry wasn't. He wasn't confirmed as a Baratheon.
Bit of a weird thing about that I did is obviously for another day. If Daenerys wasn't actually the queen of the 7 kingdoms, how could she legitimatize, however you say that, Gendry? She's basically just another person.
She's just making the shit up as she goes along.
But then it's
But in the books, it wouldn't have been Stannis. In the books, it would have been Robert's bastard, who was legitimized, who was a playing field for the 2 Baratheon brothers who were fighting over Edward Storm, something like that. Yeah. He was a legitimate bastard who would have been. But that's just the books. Anyways, go.
Number 6, how are Jorah and Lyanna Mormont related?
Are they cousins?
They are indeed cousins.
Boom.
That was number 5, wasn't it?
5, yeah, sorry. 5. Yeah, so it's Jorah Mormont, obviously is his dad. It was his sister.
Yeah. She talks about her mother being an ugly woman.
I put brother and sister, so I got that one wrong.
That's a big age gap. Jorah's like about 60 years old, something like that, 50, 60 years old. He's an old man.
Anything went in Game of Thrones, so
that's very true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because Daenerys' mum is also her aunt, so that's Where's the seat of House Bolton?
I said the Dreadfort.
I put the Midlands. You've got the North, the South, the Midlands.
The Dreadfort.
It's the Dreadfort, yeah.
Yes, bitch.
So that's 3. 3. You need to pull it back, Paul, at this point.
Yeah, I've got neat up.
That's 4. my love. That's
Is
4.
it?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've gotten the last 3 right and the
Stannis.
first one.
Oh yeah.
Did you write down the last? Did you write down the
1, 2, 3.
last one though, or did you just say it?
Oh yeah.
All right. Later off
Put
then.
it down. I ain't cheating, bitch.
Number 7. What is the sigil of the? Has the sigil?
you
of the
nearly
Silver
said
Trail?
it there.
I did, but I mean, it's the answer anyway. So
House Tully.
House Tully is correct.
I put Greyjoy, so no.
Number 8. Jon Snow shares his name with who?
Oh my god,
The TV news presenter.
Paul. I couldn't remember. It's Aemon Targaryen.
It is. I was referring to his name as Aemon Targaryen.
Yeah, Aemon Targaryen.
That's why I said Jon Snow.
Yeah, and I think is he 4th?
No. So he shares his name with his half brother, who's Elia Martell's kid, and obviously also Maester Aemon.
Yep, that's right. That's how I knew he was his name, because I remember losing my shit going, oh my god, you've got Mr. Aemon's name. Sorry.
And he would have been the 6th if he was crowned.
Right. Okay.
Samuel Tarly tells him in the crypts of
4th of 6th of your name. Right.
I put 7, so yeah.
Oh, close though. To be fair, if I didn't read this down, I wouldn't have remembered. Not at all. How many kings did Tywin Lannister serve as hand, and who were they?
The Mad King and Joffrey.
And Tommen.
I did put 3, but I got the names wrong. I got Joffrey, Daenerys, and Bran. I thought I might have went that way, but
I'll give you. You know what? I'm going to give you a point for 3.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
Unfortunately, there's no tiebreaker, but I want to know if you would have been able to answer it.
Go on then.
Mm-hmm.
There's 8 Starks that appeared in the very first episode.
Yeah.
Who are they?
8 Starks in the very first episode. So Catelyn,
Yep.
Ned, Rob, Sansa, Arya, Rickon, Benjen. One more. Oh my god. I don't know. Who's the last Stark?
Put her out of misery. Go on then.
Bran.
Bran.
Oh my god, Bran!
It's usually because when I saw the question, I tried doing it myself, because I tried just answering the questions myself, because I thought, well, if they're going to be too hard, there's no point. Everyone's just going, no, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that either.
He's grand.
But no, yes, it's usually it was Benjen that threw me up, because I forgot that he rides in at the very start.
It's the first time you see him, then he says, "Yo, Benjen Stark."
But thank you so much for coming on, Sam.
That was so fun.
Sam wins the pop though, so you get to choose whichever Game of Thrones pop you want, and just message me.
I'll just put you. I'll just tell you, just Tyrion, because I love him. Please.
You just want a Tyrion one? No worries. If you just message me your address, then I'll send it.
Oh my god.
Thank you so much. Like I say, it's
Thank
been
you.
an absolute pleasure coming on, and hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Cool. And like I say, Sam's over the moon. She's got to talk about Game of Thrones, because I know that is her baby, bless her.
No, it's been my pleasure. It's something to do on a Sunday evening, so it's for a good cause. So.
Cool.
Yay!
And talk about a good cause. Please donate.
Kitties.
I already donated earlier.
No, I'm talking about like.
Everyone else.
Yeah,
everyone else.
Oh yeah, everyone else. Get down.
Right, cool. Well, enjoy the rest of it, guys, and
thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
Have a nice evening. Bye.
See you later. Bye.
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 Grand.